What's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all. Elise Reed versus Cory McKenna. All right, first off, I got to say shout out to both of these fighters. This was a good fight. I was expecting a good striker versus grappler type fight here, but for the most part, it was like striker versus a grappler who wanted to strike with a striker, right? Elise Reed went in there. She executed a pretty good game plan of just trying to keep this fight on the feet. There's a few holes there, which I'll talk about here in a minute, but Cory McKenna. I know everybody was favoring Cory McKenna. She was a heavy favorite in this fight. She's a young, hungry, strong fighter. She looked good, on the come up in the Contender Series, going into her fight with Kay Hansen. But something, man, I just kept thinking, man, I was like, I got to go with Elise Reed in this one, man, because I think Elise Reed is a little bit more committed, and she's sharper on her feet, and she's just all around committed to what she wants to do. Cory McKenna, though she's been out for a while, I didn't really just factor in the layoff. I had to kind of factor in the fact that she is young and the Kay Hansen fight. I went back and watched that Kay Hansen fight a couple times. Now, listen, I watched it a couple times, and I was like, this fight was closer than it was. Like, Cory McKenna, in my opinion, had more tools than Kay Hansen in that fight, but she made that fight harder than it should have been. So I figured going into this fight, my MMA Mad said, okay, if Cory McKenna chooses to make this fight hard for her again against a much sharper fighter, then that sharper fighter will win. Hence, Elise Reed winning the fight, right? Because Cory McKenna got a good ground game. She's very strong physically, but the last minute things that she was doing in this fight really cost her just about, I won't say every round, but it cost her the first two rounds, in my opinion. I mean, the first round right away, Elise Reed, she came straight out, opened up with a pretty overhand, like straight right hand down the pipe, and she was landing it consistently and throwing some nice little leg kicks just to keep her range. I mean, she was cracking Cory McKenna with these beautiful straight right hands down the pipe. I mean, every time she would step in the range, boom, she let it go, get out of range. Boom, she would let it go, get out of range. I mean, timing, she was using her timing well. Like, every time McKenna was moving fast, like on the feet, but that's not enough. Like, moving fast and she's not really moving her head or using feints. Every time she would dart in, boom, Elise Reed would hit her with a good right hand. So she was using a lot of angles and moving here. McKenna did catch Reed with a good right hand of her own. She did catch Reed with the right hand, but Reed bounced right back, came back. She weathered it, stopped one of McKenna's takedowns until finally McKenna, she was able to lift her up and take her down. But this was like, 30 seconds left in the round, 40 seconds left in the round. So majority of the round, you could see how the movement of Elise Reed was really starting to kind of bother Cory McKenna because, she was hitting a lot of air. She couldn't get a clean beam on her. She kept missing shots. Elise Reed was just stepping in and out of range whenever she wanted to, but it was the ground game that you could see as her weakness. Like, as soon as Cory McKenna went in for a takedown, she was able to get that top control for 30 seconds. I mean, when they got back up, they traded some hard shots too. Like, Cory McKenna landed another right hand. Elise Reed, landed some good body kicks, so it was a good round, and it started to look like it would go in McKenna's favor, but I would still give that round to Reed. Second round, McKenna, she coming in with a little bit more volume here. Reed still cracking her with those right hands, though, every time, just timing her. I like how Reed was landing these right hands, but I would like to see her jab a little bit more because, the way she keeps her hands low, it would be nice to shoot from the hip. Whenever you got the hands low like that, shoot from the hip, like James Toney, he would do with his jab, shoot that jab up from the hip. And, somebody like Cory McKenna who's not moving her head, it's going to crack her right in the face. And hence, that'll blind her. And then, boom, a clean right hand that she won't even expect would knock her out. That's why I figured, like, leading with the right hand is good if you can get it, but, always use that jab, to, like, damage an opponent. Good calf kicks from Elise Reed. That was another thing that I liked. It was really kind of building up the lead for her. McKenna, she was doing a lot of movement. She just wasn't moving her head enough. Reed was just picking her shots, backing McKenna up towards, like, the last half of the round. McKenna, she never stopped working, though. She kept throwing and getting off a few shots here and there, but Elise Reed was just a harder hitter here and much accurate shots. She already had McKenna bleeding from the mouth a little bit. Never stopped working, and to the last minute, once again, big takedown for Cory McKenna. But still, I had to get that round to Reed. That wasn't enough. That kind of big slam that she did at like 10 seconds left, that's not enough to win a round. She had to get that early. So I had it 2-0 at this point for Elise Reed. Just clean shots, overall better work rate, and, just controlling these rounds. Last round, though, Reed, once again, Elise Reed never stopped using these angles. She kept committing to her game that was working. Stepping side to side, around and around, and, just landing calf kicks. Finally, McKenna was able to move in and She was finally able to kind of close that distance, but she's not moving her head enough. Like, she's moving her feet. Like, you'll see her bounce around. McKenna showing like that type of speed, but she's just not moving her head. That's why, Elise Reed is just hitting with these clean shots. So finally, instead of trying to box with Elise Reed, McKenna finally gets a takedown early in this fight, in this round. And McKenna, she controls top position for a while, gets some work in with like a minute 15 left. She was able to, I say, earn the round with that ground control time. Back on the feet, Reed sent McKenna stumbling back with a good right hand. I mean, I think it was like a right hand or left hook, but she sent her stumbling back from it. I mean, McKenna recovered from it, but Reed started backing her up towards the end of the round. Got in for a clinch here, which to me it favored McKenna more because she got the reverse and she was able to finish with some of that clinch pressure on Elise Reed. So I had it 2-1 for Elise Reed. I thought it was pretty clear. One of the judges, I mean, you could tell this was home cooking right here. I mean, he had it 30-27 for Cory McKenna. And I was like, where he see that at? Where did you see that at? Come on, man. Because if you look at even like the Twitter comments on the side, which, I don't really take their opinions too seriously, but I think whenever the majority says one thing, I think it's pretty obvious. Like, pretty much everybody that was tweeting in said Elise Reed already had it won. 2-0 by the third round. Going into the third round, everybody pretty much had it, 2019, right? So I was like, yo, like, what are they looking at? So 2018, right? Yeah, 2018. Everybody had 2018, but that one judge, I was like, 30-27? Come on, 30-27 for Cory McKenna? Did they not see what Elise Reed was doing in this fight? I was like, these clean shots that she was landing, I'm like, are they really scoring these last-minute takedowns for Cory McKenna? I'm like, 30-27, come on. I mean, you could say the fight was competitive, but I thought the clear winner in the fight should have been unanimous for Elise Reed. I think it was clear she won the first 2 rounds. I mean, come on. I mean, what does she have to do, or what do you have to really do to secure the win besides, of course you have to stop somebody or knock, submit them or whatever. But I thought it was pretty clear in my opinion. But yeah, shout out to Elise Reed. I thought she fought a very good fight. I'd say just like a couple of things that she needs to work on is, takedown defense for sure. If she wants to keep a fight standing, you got to get in there and stuff them takedowns, and you got to get that control right. That's why I say, like, fighters like Wmma, they got that blueprint for the greatest takedown defense in the strawweight division. So moving forward, if she wants to strike like that, got to pop more jabs off as well. You're dealing with a grappler or a wrestler, jab is your best friend. A jab is going to stop a grappler or wrestler from coming in, straight in like that, and it'll make them think twice. So I'd say more jabs from her, and takedown defense. I think at 29, she's definitely going to show you that she's headed in that path like these other more mature fighters like Manon. Moving forward from here, I'd like to see a good stand-up fight between Elise Reed and Cheyenne Valismas. That would be a good fight. I think Reed showed that she's pretty polished, even on this lower level. That would be a good fight. As for Cory McKenna, it's definitely not over for her. She's only 22 years old. This is a minor setback. Maybe a fight with her and somebody like Montserrat Ruiz would be good, just to kind of, get her confidence up about grappling with a strong wrestler like that. That would be a good fight. Or her and Vanessa Demopoulos at some point, But yeah, I would like to see Cheyenne Valismas versus Elise Reed. I think that would be a good fight. But yeah, man, that's what I was telling people, don't underestimate Elise Reed off of that performance at 125. I think that was just a complete mismatch, and she didn't need to be there. So I couldn't really say it's over just off of that Sarge loss. Like I said, I've been watching Elise Reed since her first fight, and I've been seeing certain things in there I could say, okay, where she could beat somebody like Cory McKenna. So yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section what y'all thought of the fight. How did y'all score it? Who do you think is next for both of these fighters? Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.